Good Erev Shabbos, everyone. This week's Parsha is out of Kedoshim. The Parsha begins, Daber el kol hadas b'nei Yisrael, speak to the entire congregation of the children of Israel, v'yomarta aleim, say to them, Kedoshim tihiyu, you shall be holy. Ki kodesh ani Hashem Elokechem, for I, the Lord your God, I am holy. Here is an actual verse in the Torah which is charging us with the mission of attaining a level of Kedusha, holiness. It's not just something which is reserved for the few who wish to strive to such a level, but it's addressing all of Klal Yisrael, as it says, speak to the entire congregation. And the very next verse states, Ish imay v'obiv tirayu, a person should be in awe. They should have a reverence for their mother and their father. V'yashavsoisai tishmeru, and my Shabbos you should observe. There are 51 biblical mitzvahs in this week's Parsha. And the Parsha, the very first one is to revere our parents. This means we're not to sit in their seat if they have a designated chair. We're not to interrupt them. We're not to contradict them. It's amazing what the Torah requires. This is in addition to the mitzvah, the fifth commandment of honoring one's parents. To honor parents, this refers to bringing them food, bringing them beverage, helping them, assisting them. But reverence is another mitzvah. And this is the first mitzvah. This is the mitzvah, as the Parsha tells us, that we have a responsibility to attain sanctity. How do we go about it? First and foremost, reverence for one's parents. Honoring and revering parents is very important. It's fundamental. It's basic menschlichkeit. But how is that a means, the first and foremost of all the mitzvahs? How is that the means of attaining Kedusha, being holy? A person being holy, being sacred, that's an incredible level. How is this the channel to achieve that? In addition, the verse then says, Shabsosai tishmeru, my Shabbos you should observe. What is the connection between revering parents and observing Shabbos? This is not the first time we've been introduced to Shabbos or the mitzvah of observance. It's numerous throughout the Torah because it's so important. And we can certainly understand if there would be a separate verse telling us, again, observe the Shabbos, but it's put together in the same verse. That means there's one central idea over here of revering parents and observing the Shabbos. What exactly is the connection? The sages explain what exactly is Kedusha. Kedoshim tihiyu, be holy. What does it mean we should be holy? Does it mean we should lock ourselves up in a monastery? Does it mean that we should not speak? We should refrain from any oral conversation? That's not the way of the Torah. That's not the way of Abraham and Sarah, who went and spread the knowledge of God unto all of mankind. We're not going to be able to achieve that if we're going to be isolated and not speaking. Kedusha means living on it with a different perspective, having a different outlook, seeing things differently. Exactly what are we seeing that's different? Some people see only that which in life can bring them pleasure, what they think will make them happy. Other people see maybe functioning within a society, helping others helping us, which is very, very nice. Kedusha means seeing in this world the hand of Hashem in every aspect and recognizing God's boundless kindness and his benevolence, even in those areas that are difficult to comprehend. To be able to see the hand, the finger, the love of our Father in heaven. This gives us a whole different perspective and outlook on everything that transpires. It changes a rainfall into a gift from God. It shows us that every blade of grass and every leaf, everything that grows is fulfilling the will of the Almighty. It enables us to appreciate every time we inhale and we exhale, that our heart beats and our organs are functioning properly. It enables us to have an appreciation, to reach this appreciation of everything that Hashem does for us, to be able to see the fingerprint of God in every element of life. One isn't born that way, but on the contrary, one has to strive and one has to work to achieve that level. And it begins at home. It begins with the teaching from parents. And it begins with our appreciating parents. In order to appreciate God, first we appreciate our parents. Look what our parents have done for us. Not only did they bring us into this world, but my very personality, my mind, my ability to think and reason, my education, my introduction to my faith, my heritage, my Jewish identity. This is all a result of the effort of my parents. My parents sent me to a day school. They worked and they paid the tuition and they paid all the bills to see that my home would reflect that of a Jewish home. To be able to see the good and all that our parents have done for us and continue to do for us. This is what the Torah is saying. Kedoshim tihiyu. We're charged with the responsibility to achieve and attain the level of being holy, which means seeing the holiness in this world, the holiness, the manifestation of God in every element of life, and the holiness in every human being. And how does that begin? It begins at home. If we can revere our parents, if we see in our parents the godliness, if we see the boundless, endless love that they have for their children, their grandchildren, if we can begin to appreciate this, then it opens up and gives us a new vista, new horizons in which we can see that it's not limited just to our parents, but it extends and it originates from our Father in heaven, our parent of all that exists. This is an incredible responsibility that's placed upon parents. Parents have the responsibility to create such an environment in which their children will be able to recognize, not just to become takers and receive all that the parents want to give, but to appreciate it and to be grateful and express the gratitude and to show reverence. Parents have a responsibility to impart knowledge of a Jewish identity to children. This is an enormous task and responsibility placed upon the shoulders of parents. How are they to accomplish this? And that the Torah shares with us and says, Es Shabsosai Tishmeiru. If we observe God's Shabbos, that's going to enable our children to appreciate their parents and have the proper reverence. And through that reverence, recognize the goodness and the kindliness and the sanctity of God's presence throughout this world and in each and every human being. How is this achieved? Children see our parents working so hard. They get up and they go to work in the morning. They come home and they look over some books and they take care of this and take care of that. Maybe they find an hour or so for themselves to stretch out and relax a little bit. Our parents are consumed with their work, with their activities, paying bills. It's not easy. And then all of a sudden, once a week, shut it down, no matter what. but there are more customers. There's more money to be made over the weekend. There are things that can be done. It's Shabbos. You know what message we're sending to our children? We're telling them that there is something greater than just our material and physical existence. There's something loftier. There's something eternal. There's a connection. There is a God in heaven to whom we all have a responsibility, and we have his mitzvahs. And our children see that. They see their home is transformed from an ordinary home of cooking and baking and working and homework and doing what I'm paying bills, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, it becomes a temple, a palace. There's a Shabbos. Families come together. Friends are invited over. Maybe we'll talk about the Parsha. Maybe we'll go to synagogue services together. Our children are imbued with the knowledge that indeed they are living their faith. Their Shabbos, it's a reality. I'm a Jew. These are the foods, my traditional foods. These are my mitzvahs. This is what I do, what I don't do. I'm a link in a chain. And I'm learning this not just at school. I'm experiencing it at home. My parents are my greatest teachers. The Shabbos, this is how parents fulfill this enormous responsibility of imbuing their children with the Jewish identity and the pride of knowing that we stood at Sinai and received God's Torah. We have been blessed to serve our Creator. We are the ones who have been chosen to be given all these mitzvahs. And I know this, and I've tasted it, I've experienced it, and I've seen it in my home. And even if parents don't know how to make a Shabbos, they send their children to school and they learn and they attach themselves to those people to whom they will learn what a Shabbos and they'll experience a Shabbos. More than the Jew has kept the Shabbos, it is the Shabbos that has kept the Jews. This is the connection in the Torah. We want to attain sanctity. It begins with seeing the good and expressing our gratitude and showing reverence for our parents, who above all have planted within us the knowledge of what it means to be a Jew. How did they do it? They did it first and foremost with Shabbos. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay Jewish. Have a wonderful Shabbos.